Hey CPA, I'm Ella.
And I'm Drew.
And we're here in chilly, beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the host city for the 123rd Army-Navy football game.
Prior to the game, we were able to speak with two CPA alumni, Navy Midshipman Andy Jones and Army Cadet Matthew Miller.
Our media team received sideline press passes so that we could experience many of the traditions of the Army-Navy game firsthand.
This double overtime thriller was definitely one for the history books. First of all, thank you so much for talking with us.
It's my pleasure.
And man, can you just tell us a little bit about what you do in the Army?
Yeah, so I'm a cadet at West Point. I'm a first class cadet, which means I'm a senior. I'm an evaluations officer for my company. So at West Point, everyone is graded across three pillars: the military pillar, the academic pillar, and the physical pillar. So I'm responsible for military grading, ensuring everyone is well trained and everyone gets fairly evaluated and graded well. I really enjoy what I do.
That's really cool, man. So we're at the Army-Navy football game, man. So can you just tell me a little bit about the tradition of this game?
The game was first played in 1890. I think this is the 123rd Army-Navy game. So it's like one of America's longest running football traditions. It's a game really for any American, whether you are a veteran, whether you are serving, whether you know people who have served, or really if you're just an American. You can all come together and enjoy just a wonderful game.
So you know it's about coming together, but there's also a little rival aspect in it. Can you kind of talk about that a little?
I like to think of it like a sibling rivalry, you know? So we support each other 364 days out of the year, and this is the one time we're not on the same team. Even though things get a little chippy sometimes, it's all about coming together and forming those bonds, because what matters at the end of the day is whether or not the Army and the Navy can come together to win America's war.
Andy, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the tradition and the rivalry? I mean, I know the first game was played in 1890 up at West Point. Navy won, of course. There's a lot of really great traditions around the game. Here in a minute, we'll have the prisoner exchange on the field, where the exchange midshipmen cadets from either school who've been at the opposite school for this semester will sprint back across the field to where they belong since the semester's over. And the week leading up to the game for either school is pretty crazy, just on campus. It's a big week of cranks and fun, a lot of spirit missions. We sent a couple planes up to Army to drop ping pong balls that said "Go Navy, beat Army" on them during their formation. It's a bunch of crazy stuff like that to make it come alive.
Can you kind of tell me a little bit about the game yesterday?
Oh my gosh, so we didn't have the best season going into it, so I was a little nervous, but I mean, they got the job done. Great atmosphere. Corps cadets and all the midshipmen, they all march on for the game. They're all organized by companies. From there, there's a parachute demonstration from both the Navy and the Army, and there's a flyover. The Army had their helicopters, and then the Navy, they flew their jets. Yeah, then the national anthem, it's always special because both the glee clubs from both schools get to sing it, and then it was really awesome. Of course, the prisoner exchange. So another thing that makes this game really special for me is my dad is also a West Point grad, so he's class of 90, and he's been to 2 of the games, and this was his 3rd. But yeah, it's just special to see that tradition carried on, and then I got to experience it with him.
As a current Navy cadet, what does this game mean to you? It means a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's the big event of the year. Last year, we were up in New York, and Navy won basically because of an accidental fake punt in the 4th quarter, and we all went insane. The whole country can watch this game and enjoy it, whether you're a fan of either team or not. It's just always been a timeless and classic. Thank you so much for talking with us, and go Navy. Go Navy.
Double overtime, the first overtime in history.
Oh man, when we scored, I was going crazy, but then they answered right back, and I think we gave them that extra push.
Well, thank you so much, dude.
Of course, my pleasure.